Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Josh Ellsworth, and welcome to our Making It Together live educational event. Today is Tuesday, April 21st, and we've been broadcasting since sometime in mid-March, coming live to you every weekday between myself and Jenna, bringing you education. And so I want to welcome you back in. And sorry, we're broadcasting just about a minute late. I had a nice little power surge and power outage about 2 minutes before we were supposed to go live. So luckily everything came back on in good order. But if that happens again for whatever reason, just hang tight and know I will be back. I will be back on. I know for sure it wasn't my heat press that made it happen to my house, because I'm not using my big heat press today. I have pulled my hat press out of the garage because that's going to be our topic today. We're going to talk a little bit about heat pressing hats and also other items such as face masks and face covers, and even do an application onto a pair of pants to show you some different things that a hat press can do. So, of course, I think a hat press is a great investment for any business. We were excited to launch the 360 IQ hat press, which was really a leap forward in technology for heat printing hats, with being able to heat from underneath the hat as well as on top of the hat. The response on that was phenomenal. And actually, after we had the machines out in the market, we wanted to make a modification to it just to improve the performance ever so slightly. And so we still are on our pre-order list for those and are working to add that extra functionality to the machines that we had got back and returned to us. So know if you have pre-ordered the 360 cat press, I know you have been waiting patiently, and we thank you for that. That we should be back out with those at the end of May for those that sent your machine back, and then shipping some of those pre-orders throughout June and July. And we have a ton of pre-orders. So from what I understand, if you place your order for that machine today, you'll be on an early August delivery. But we feel really confident with being able to hit all of those delivery dates moving forward. So, but I've owned this Max Cat Press, let's see, since it was built October 19th, 2016. So I didn't buy it with my original setup with the vinyl cutter and the heat press, but I had an opportunity. And so I decided to invest in the cat press to be able to heat print hats for a particular job for a construction company, and actually paid off half of my cat press in one job. So I was pretty excited about that. So I want to say good morning to everybody watching. Todd, good to see you as always. Gary from Utah, thanks for joining us this morning. April, good morning from Texas. We have someone watching from South Carolina. Freddie, welcome back from New Jersey. Have you received your heat press yet, I wonder? Jim from Canada, and Mike from Canada, and Craig from Washington. So Pam also from Michigan. So we have a familiar crew today and some new faces that I haven't seen before, and we welcome you all in. So first I want to say this Max hat press, I like to call it a hat press, but cat press also works, is sold by both Stalls and Transfer Express. And I want to show you the product and explain to you why I decided to invest in this one, and kind of outline the differences between this and the Autoclam. Both great machines. So I've pulled it up, in this case, on the Transfer Express website, so you can take a look. It's right under the heat press section, so it's really easy to find. And we actually have a heat press package on our auto open cat press, and I'll explain the difference. But this Max cat press is, pretty much no frills, basic machine, and I like it. It measures time and temperature. It doesn't have a digital pressure readout per se, but with pressing hats, I feel like almost everything needs to be at a light pressure. You really don't want to put too firm of a pressure when you're pressing hats, especially onto that small surface, because it causes a lot of creasing and marking on the hats. So I didn't feel like, for me, that the pressure readout was that big of a deal. And I knew that personally, I was just running a small side business, not really looking to sell, honestly, just doing things as they come in. So I knew I didn't have a need for the auto open personally, because I wasn't going to be multitasking a lot and doing high production. So I just wanted the most affordable thing that could do the job. And that's why I landed on the Max cat press for my business. And it's been awesome. Now we do have the auto open cat press, and I'm going to pull up a package on that. So the Max cat press is $750. We have a package over on Transfer Express for our auto open cat press. That's a really good deal. That goes for $1149. This includes the press plus 4 of the attachments, and I'll show you the attachments here today, some of the ones that I've purchased. It also includes a $100 product credit, a marketing kit, and free shipping. So that's a really good deal. So if you're looking to get into printing a lot of hats, and you think this is going to be a big part of your business, or a lot of face masks, the auto open is going to be great because it's going to allow you to multitask, get the next item ready. It'll open. It won't over bake your transfer, so to speak, cause any scorching, any issues. And I know a lot of folks that actually have multiple auto open cap presses beside one another. It's a pretty small footprint. I actually have it on a pop-up TV tray because I was lacking table space in here today. So that's about the footprint of the machine. It fits perfectly on there. So a lot of people run 2 side by side. So one operator operating 2 machines. And so, yeah, so attachments, I've seen all kinds of hat press hacks because I think hats are one of the most challenging items out there. And so building up the print area with socks, with pillows, with extra pads, with t-shirts, basically anything to get rid of that crease, that nasty crease that sometimes the hat press leaves. And so some people have mastered that, but it is an art more than a science. So if you don't want to go down that path and you say, I want to press hats without the crease, get in line for that 360 cap press. You can just call our customer service department over at Stalls, and you can be in line for that machine to ship out in August. But with that in mind, let's talk a little bit about what's happening out there right now. So we launched these face masks, and I think some of you have seen them, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going too deep on the construction of them, but just a real quick summary. These are available right now from stalls.com. If you go to the blank apparel tab, we'll share the link, but there's a reusable face mask. That's one of my favorite parts. These can be laundered up to 50 times without an issue. They're 100% polyester. They are 2 layers front and back with a 3rd layer inside that's a Pellon layer that does some extra filtering for you. So it is a consumer mask. It's certainly not medical grade, and we wouldn't recommend it for healthcare professionals. But all of us are going to have to cover up when we're out in public places, and I think that's going to be a part of our reality into the future when we're in large groups. So there's going to be plenty of branding opportunities for face masks. You start to think of sporting events and concerts and even school gatherings. Probably people on your client list are going to be interested in face masks in bulk. I think it's going to be a really popular promo item out there for 2020 and probably 2021, and then who knows from there. So I think it's advantageous for every apparel decorator to learn how to make this a part of your business. This is not something we're looking to take advantage and exploit a crisis or price gouge or do any of those things that sometimes you see that's going on. We are positioning in such a way that that you can get more faces covered in your business. Again, I think that once everybody owns a mask, that there'll be other opportunities for cool masks and graphics and giveaways. But right now, the goal is just to get these out there as best price as we can to allow you to logo them. So this mask goes for, well, you can look at the website. It has all the details on there, but basically 150 minimum order quantity. Price is $2.99 a mask to buy them blank, and we carry white, black, and gray. We will Thursday, when I come to you live, be showing another mask, assuming it arrives to me without issue tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, right? Yeah, tomorrow. And I'll show you that mask in person on our Thursday live session. That'll be an economy one, and it'll have lower minimums and 10 packs. Not quite as nice in the design style, in my opinion, but very functional and affordable and low quantities. So with that in mind, that's the mask. And I wanted to start off today's session with this hat press printing the mask. And so let me bring you up close here. And as always, we're broadcasting live. Please do ask questions. That keeps things exciting for all of us. Make sure you get the knowledge that you need. And try to get you as close as possible today so you can see what's happening at the press. Looks pretty good. And we'll give you a little rundown of the heat press first. So first off, the press has interchangeable attachments. So all of these attachments can pop out and swap a different size on. This is for the Max and the Auto Open press. They're built in the same exact way when it comes to that. So one of the most popular attachments that I used for heat pressing caps is 2 3/4 by 6.5. We call it the low profile. That tends to fit a large variety of caps. Now, of course, there is a limited height on that, but it helps to be able to get that cap flat so you're not having any of those creasing issues. Now, we also have different sizes. I don't remember offhand the sizes that I bought. I know I had the standard in there, and I believe I bought a larger one. If you want to do a lot of masks and you're buying the press specifically for masks, I would recommend you get the largest platen. We'll look at it on the website, but I believe it's a 4x8 platen for the oversized trucker caps. This one, I believe, is a little bit smaller than the 4x8, but it's what I had, so it'll serve our purpose, and it's totally usable. So interchange the platens when it comes to pressing hats. I'll show you a basic load first. I'll press this here in a moment. We're just going to load the cap on. It swings around to the outside and hangs below the press. As you can see, you always want to flip that sweatband out if you can to get rid of that extra seam and crease. And then the machine has a little red tip right here that you see. That's a hold down device that locks into place and holds the cap flush against the platen. So I can get a nice flat printing area on here without any puckering. And so puckering is one of those issues that a lot of people get. And so if you have a cap press without an interchangeable attachment, that's when you start to build the socks and the pillows and the extra sort of building up the surface to prevent that puckering, which causes a bend and a crease typically in your hat and less than a perfect quality. So, I mean, this thing's pretty simple. The pressure adjustment is actually underneath. There's a little knob here. So instead of from the top, like on your normal heat press, you're going to raise and lower the bottom platen to adjust your pressure. And then you just lock the machine down and it will count down at the temperature that it's at, down to 0, and it will beep when it's concluded. So very easy. I had this tucked away in a little corner, had to bring it out, dust it off for our purposes here today, but it's very lightweight, very portable. So I have a lot of folks that will take hat presses and print at events. For a couple reasons. One, it's a small footprint. Two, hats are relatively a one-size-fits-all. And when you think of face masks and face covers, those are going to be relatively a one-size-fits-all, maybe an adult and youth option, but it's very functional in that aspect. So let's press something before I talk about transfers. So these are 100% polyester. I'm going to just load a white mask on. So it's very simple. I'm just going to lay it there. I want to follow all of my rules about preheating. That's still a good idea, even when you're printing on this machine. So I'm going to preheat. And then let me see. I'm going to grab a transfer here. I'm going to do this just little Salesforce logo. So corporate brands, I think, will be a big thing for events and conferences. And I'm going to position that into place. This transfer can be from any of our products that are CP/SIA compliant, which basically means they don't contain lead or phthalates and they're safe for kids. That also means that, you know, they rate those to come in contact with a small child's mouth. And so I feel confident that anything that's CP/SI certified can be used on the face covers. Now, what I would recommend doing is keeping your logo relatively small and staying away from the core area where there's going to be breathing and air travel through. And so in this case, we're just going to apply it. We're going to let that cool down. This could easily be cut from heat transfer vinyl, not really vinyl, polyurethane based material. So from heat transfer film, it can also be print and cut on a printer cutter and or made in a screen printed transfer. We have all sorts of products that are compliant in those styles. The product I chose today is called Stretch Lithomat, and I'll, for those of you that have been watching, you know I love this product, and you'll see why I chose this product. And so that's quick, it's easy, it's one mask completed. We'll let it cool down before we peel the backing. Now I'm going to grab another mask, take our gray color, same concept. We're just going to load it on, just tack it down with the preheat. Then I'll pick my next logo. We're going to go with Subaru Motorsports. And so one of the reasons I like Stretch Lithomat is it's going to be tough to see. I'll show you on the finished piece, but there's a really small registered trademark here and some very fine text. Things that you really wouldn't want to do with a printer cutter or with weeding or with any other process. And so, but with Stretch Lithomat, it's easy. I'm just going to position it down. I have that clear carrier so I can see through it. You can use thermal tape on this. You kind of see how the edges of the transfer, because it's going on a curved surface, or moving a little bit. So you can use transfer tape to put it into place, or you can delicately lay your cover sheet down and then just heat apply. Now you can do multiple masks at one time on your flat press. So if you have a flat press already and it's not busy printing t-shirts, I would say there's no reason to go out and buy a hat press unless you want to just expand or have it in a different area like your home, maybe your normal presses at your shop, because you can do 6 or 8 at a time on a normal flat press. But again, hat press is very easy, something to consider, and it's going to open up your capability into the future for what you can do. So I'm going to press one more down while we're over here at the press. In this case, I'm going to switch up masks. So this is not our new mask, but I had some samples sent to me from S&S Activewear of the Bella Canvas mask. And so please withhold your comments about any of the mask details. I know these have been selling well for a lot of people. This is more of a t-shirt-like material though. So I know I just want to give you proper expectations of what you're getting. They call it a face cover. It has multiple slits on the ear, so it can fit different folks. We don't sell this one at stalls, but this is sold by a lot of our folks that we partner up with for blanks. So you can, it's more of a cotton-based material. If memory serves me right, it's either 100% cotton or 50-50. I believe it's 100% cotton. But again, I just want to show you that if you have the right transfer type, you can do different fabrics, different masks, different logos. And stretch litho can work across all of these different styles. But for those of you that maybe are just doing single color stuff, I've created an ElastiPrints gang sheet. And so ElastiPrints is also a really nice product for this use. A little smaller gang sheet, but you can fit multiple logos up. And for this one, you're going to pay by color. So let me grab my scissors here and we'll just trim out a logo. When you're doing these, I like to trim them real close because you want to make sure it's centered. So I'm going to trim close to my ink on both sides of the design. And I'm also going to trim, a tight box around the design because that will make my placement a lot easier at the press. So ElastiPrints works really well for these applications. It's about the same application. It's 300 degrees for 15 seconds. I'm just going to increase my time a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and lock that down. While that's cooling, or while that's pressing, sorry, my other mask cooling, I just hold them against the wall to pull the heat out a little bit. And then once it's completed, we'll just peel the backing from it, and we have a completed result. So you can see real quick, real easy. That was our stretch litho mat. It has a nice soft feel. And when you put this mask on, which I'll do for you here. Sorry, I have to take my glasses off to do that. You can see you're not covering the breathable area on the mask. So my bottom lip's right here. So there's plenty of real estate here to put the logo on the chin. You still get good coverage of the nose. And if you wear this mask low enough, it still covers your nose without fogging up your glasses, which is a nice benefit. So I was wearing it too high in my video the other day, which caused some issues with fogging up the glasses. All right, ElastiPrints is also a cold peel, so I'm going to remove it. You could use Goof Proof for this. I think ElastiPrints is going to be the better fit if your garment, if your mask contains polyester in it. So there's our other Subaru Motorsports logo. So you can see there's the really, really fine registration mark that you can see on it. So that was with our stretch litho mat. So we should have this one nearly cooled down on ElastiPrints. Let me just pull some of the heat out of it by holding it against the wall. And then just peel the backing away. And you can see our completed result. So I'll throw this one on for you so you can see the difference between the two covers as far as fit and function. And so that one fits nice as well. Again, I think that bottom chin placement is really great for your logo location. You certainly have a little more real estate to print the sides on some of these styles as well. and get a good face covering. So a couple different options. I think a hat press is great for printing it. So let me look here and see what else we have questions on. So I know there's a lot of questions and feedback coming in, and I'm going to jump and press some other stuff and then talk more about ordering these small logos. So Bruce asked, can you do masks on a Fusion IQ? The answer is absolutely. I have my autoclam over here. I have it covered with samples right now, but once we clear some of this stuff, if I remember, I'll show you how to lay everything out. The Fusion IQ would be exactly the same. If you get these lay flat masks like we have here that really don't have any stitching, very easy to just lay multiples up. And I've talked to some customers that are actually using like a koozie platen on there if they do have stitching, so they can fit multiples, or using multiple print perfect pads to raise the print surface on their area. So lots of different ways to do it. And we'll be coming out with more shorter videos to show you different ways and techniques. So the question about 360 cat press for repair. So I covered that a little bit about at the very beginning. You may have missed it. We are reshipping those machines that we brought back to be able to improve the machine. Those will go back out. You'll be called somewhere around the 3rd week of May. I'm told we'll have all of those machines back out into the market during the month of May. So we're real close. And then we'll be shipping all of our other pre-orders in June and July. And we'll be completely caught up as we sit right now, starting in August. Yep, we're selling these masks. So we've shared the link. And this is the Stahls mask. We call it our premium mask, which just means it's the 3-layer. It's polyester with the Pellon in the middle. And yes, you can definitely sublimate the white mask. All right. And there is Brenda, there is a Pellon layer inside of the mask. So that also helps with filtration, and that's what covers the complete nose and mouth area. All right. I think you can definitely use a regular heat press. I just wanted to show somebody how to use a hat press for the application, because a lot of times we've been waiting to see a hat press, and I'm going to do some hats today, and I can only boot up one press. So the hat press especially works well for those masks that have like a thicker seam structure. Not our style. You can use any press with our style, but with the seam structure. All right. Just ordered 150 masks. Can't wait to logo them up. We can't wait to see what you create. And then different colors are white, gray, and black is what we're looking at. So got the gray, got the black, got the white. It is 100% polyester, so you can do a full sublimation print over here, and I'll be showing you a video on how to do that as well as soon as I get my prints in. All right. Good. And just too big of a commitment for small town without showing product, and understand that right now these ones are 150 pieces minimum. They're in 50 packs, and that's what we're offering today. We will launch the economy style Thursday, which will only have a 10-piece minimum. And so you'll be able to access those for your needs. And then we will work in time to probably bring the minimums down on the more premium mask once supply catches up with demand. All right. And we haven't experienced any heating issues on Pellon. Actually, a fun fact is we used to heat apply goof-proof transfers at the end of our Hotronics manufacturing line when we would test our machines. That's what I remember as a kid. You'd see all these sheets of Pellon with this really cool Hotronics design applied when we would make all the heat presses in the factory, and they would come off the line, and that piece of Pellon applied with goof-proof would actually ship. So I don't have any concerns about the Pellon melting when you're at the 365 or less temperatures. All right, so I'm going to keep moving here because I want to make sure we talk about more than masks today. And I'll talk a little bit about the transfer products once we leave the heat press. So now I want to move into heat applying hats. So we're going to go ahead and load this hat again. I'm just going to flip out the sweatband and load it on. And I'm really going to lock it into place. And I've started with this hat because it fits my platen nice. I will move to another hat that we have to change the platen. Anytime you're pressing hats, I do recommend that you continue to preheat. And for this particular one, I'm going to show you, it looks like there is about 4 or 5 colors in this design. And so, of course, full color logos look great on the hats. Using this trucker cap, I have no center seam, so I don't have to worry about going over the seam at all. So I can just position my logo, make sure it's centered, grab my cover sheet, and then heat apply. So it's really simple. There's not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to printing hats. The main thing is just making sure you have your hat on the press with the correct attachment, and that's going to give you more accurate results. There are some hats that no matter what you do are just going to want to leave a crease. And so that's why we start to build up with pillows and pads and those sorts of things. So we're going to press this. We're going to let that cool before we peel it. And I'll show you another job that I actually did with the hat press. So I already had these pre-printed. So I talked before about being able to print different size hats. This is a youth style hat that was sourced at the time from Wholesale Boutique, and we customized it with a glitter design. And you'll see the glitter is going directly over the seam. So when you're working with heat transfer films and print cut films, applying on a 6-panel cap, they call it, that has 6 of these panels with a center seam right on the front pressing area is no big deal. Also rhinestones. And so Transfer Express supplies rhinestone transfers. Rhinestones are a great product to apply to hats, and it really stands out. So you can do those on a cap press as well. The trick with rhinestones is if you don't have bottom heat, like we're going to have on the 360 cap press that's coming out, you really need to preheat this base for a very long time. So before you start your first hat, I pre-press the base for about 60 seconds, and then also make sure you preheat the hat when you load it to be able to print those. But we're going to do, today I'm going to press a glitter design. This may work or it may not work. I'm going to challenge myself with the application. This is a district hat from Sanmar. It doesn't have the fused buckram, which basically means it's a unstructured style. So it's not like a structured cap like you see out there in a lot of the, for the baseball caps and those sorts of things. And so when you load this one on, you do have a little bit more flexibility printing unstructured caps. And I'm going to use that flexibility today because I'm going to try to do a design that runs from the front of the cap down to the bill continuously with glitter material. So when I lock this down, I don't know if you can see that, but there's definitely some puckering here. And that causes concern. I'm never going to be able to apply without like pinching that maybe under the adhesive of the transfer. And so what I'm going to do is we'll just swap out this plat. It's very easy, and try a different size. I'm going to try my favorite, which is the 2 3/4 by 6.5. You just drop it into place, get a feel for it to make sure I don't need to adjust my pressure. I'm going to turn my pressure knob underneath to just increase it slightly. And now let me try to load that hat on. And I like to pull it flush and then lock down the hold down device with my thumb so I get really good contact there. And then with the hold down device locked down, I just kind of tighten up my hat to get to the print placement. Now let's preheat it, and I can get an idea of where my press is meeting down on the edge of my hat, what type of print area I have. And this design, just taking a glitter transfer that's been cut, doesn't fit perfectly on the front. I'm going to have it go from the top down through and to apply on the bill. And so typically when you're doing that on a continuous piece, you can always try to trim it apart. It'd be really easy if the LA was on top and then the dance was on the bill. If you're just starting and you're a beginner, that would be the way to execute this look because pressing on the bill is no problem with the press, as you'll see in a moment. But because I want it to be one continuous piece, and I'm going to kind of press the technical ability here of what I can do, I need to put some like little slits in the vinyl, in the carrier, rather, not the vinyl. And so because I want some bending of the design. So you'll see I'm going to not remove it because I want it to stay in registration, but I'm putting some little slits in different areas to try to make it a little bit more formable to what I'm trying to do. So with that, I'll position the design into place. Tape would really help me here, but I don't have any. So I'm trying to put some finger contact against this to get the glitter just to hold for a second. Then I'm going to be super quick with locking down the press. So I have some good contact there. I've warmed the base, so it's kind of warming the adhesive of the glitter to get it to hold. And then I'm going to go ahead and lock it down. Glitter applies at 300 degrees for 10 to 15 seconds. This is the Stahl's glitter flake material. So I'm applying my front design, and then I'm going to delicately remove it because I have basically half of my glitter applied and half of it not applied to the rim. And then that's when I'm going to put the bill on there. And with the unstructured caps, you can kind of just bend it down slightly to get good contact here. And then I like to increase my pressure here because I want to drive that glitter down into this crease and this seam. So you can kind of see right there, there's some overlap here. These designs like this isn't applied. It's kind of flopping up here. But the top part is applied. So now I want to keep contact. I don't pull the carrier yet, and I'm going to press this all down together. So curved bills work great. Of course, you wouldn't if you're a real hat enthusiast. You would never press a flat bill on a curved platen. So you want to be careful with that because you don't want your bill bent. But we're just going to press this for the 10 to 15 seconds. See if we got good contact. And then I don't know if it works. So I'm going to delicately peel it away and see what it looks like. So we have good contact most places. I do see a couple little issues here. So the top of the A is wanting to lift slightly right here because it was right kind of in there next to that where it meets. And then this bottom part of the A, you can see it kind of wants to flip up slightly because it's right in there. So that's to be expected. And often you have to come back without the cover sheet on these to really get a good final application. So without the Mylar carrier, that is. So I'm just going to put it back down on the press. I'm going to cover it with a cover sheet. I'm just going to give it a little bit more pressure to make sure it presses into those seams. And I'm going to lock it down. And you don't have to follow the full dwell. The cool thing about hats is they're not going to be laundered typically. Sometimes they are. And so this is really, you're able to stretch some of the rules, break some of the rules when you're heat pressing headwear. Great. So that's much better. So now I have that corner. It completely went down into the seam. I get really good contact and I'm able to create like a continuous design. So some of the things you want to watch out for when you're doing this is you definitely don't want to do this on like a performance hat or a structured hat. It's going to cause major issues. Typically your standard front placement is the way to go. But if you want to be creative and create looks that nobody else is, this is one idea. Again, the simpler way would be just load the bill and just do an application on the bill to start. That's more than a lot of people can do right now as well. And then also leverage some of the other placements on the hat, like being able to load the hat and heat print the side location or the back location. On these, on the max cap press and the auto clam, sometimes that side location is a little bit challenging. That's why when we created the 360 cap press, we actually raised the area where you load the cap, and we call it 360 because you can turn that cap even with a full large bill completely around the press and hit every possible print location. Okay, so I'm going to take a look here to see what other types of questions we have. Actually, I have this stretch litho design that was heat pressed to the trucker cap complete, so you can see how cool that looks and the large print area you can get on these style of caps. It works great. I also know a lot of people that sublimate the front panels on those style of caps with a cap press with a very, very, very light pressure. And then let's see. Some questions coming in here. Let me take a look. All right. Looks like, yeah, so the Potomac design that we just did on this cap is stretch litho matte is the transfer from Transfer Express. Yeah, and I see some people want to split orders of masks. So certainly something you can do is split orders of masks. We're not going to get in the middle of that. You guys make sure you trust each other, know each other, and then you can figure that out on your own. But that's certainly a viable idea. Alexis has questions about the fit. still have questions lingering. So if you have specific questions on the fit, we have all of the dimensions on the website that you can take a look at. I've taken photos of it on my daughter, on myself. We do have a youth style mask as well, and it has all the dimensions. I'm expecting to get some samples of those, but trying to give you everything we have without being able to send out samples because we don't have those at this time. But if you have any specific questions about fit, please make sure you type them in and I'll do my best to address them. All right, and can you do a goof proof or elasti print on the cap? Yeah, certainly. Goof proof or elasti print works on caps. Goof proof sometimes can be challenging because it's such a high temperature. You'll just want to make sure that the cap can resist that temperature and not be marked up when you're applying it. Okay, so one more application on the press before I show you some more about ordering the actual transfers and a design and how much it costs per impression. All right, so next thing is just want to show you another item. So this is a pair of pants that I'm just going to do a logo on. And so these are performance pants. They're ladies. They're Sport Tech brand. And so I just want you to stretch your imagination for what you can be completing on the cap press. And you guys have actually done more stuff on your cap press than I have personally in these videos. So if you have items that work well on your cap press, I'd encourage you to share those in the comment thread right now on things that you've done successfully or what you like to use it for. More or less, if the logo fits onto the cap press platen, it's not a problem to apply it with the cap press. So in this case, I want to hit a left pocket area. So right below the left pocket on these pants, I think is a cool application area. So all I'm going to do is split the pants open, and it's very easy to fit them and get rid of the seams on this platen. So I have some seam structure to guide me. I'm just going to kind of pull the pants out to make sure I'm getting nice, even application area, and then just follow my normal instructions where I'm going to preheat. Then I'm going to grab my design. I'll use another elasti prints transfer. Find something that would look nice on these. So I'm going to do one of our newer layouts. It's on our Easy View Designer. It says, "Never shut down happiness." And so I'm just going to position that into place with the Elasti Prints logo. And let me make sure I don't lose perspective that I'm on pants and I want to be a little bit closer to the seam. So I'm just going to drape it over the edge there. I want it to be more of a side print location on the pant. And then just heat apply for the Elasti Print application. 300 degrees, 15 seconds, cold peel. Maria asks, are the masks one size only? So we do have an adult mask. We also have a youth mask as well. And on the youth mask, there are multiple holes for multiple sizes of heads for youth, depending on what age they are. And I even know probably some folks that have a smaller shape of head would probably go with the youth mask. What I did, and I posted a photo in our Facebook group, if you're a member of Heat Press for Profit, we were able to just tie a knot on the loops on the mask. We just basically, let me find one here, basically just took this little corner and tied a very small knot in the corner to be able to shrink the loop size. And then it was able to fit my daughter, who previously it didn't. So I feel like with some very basic education for what the consumer can do, it can be a one-size-fits-all mask, but it will take a little modification on their end if you're sourcing the adult one. All right. Yes, and this is being recorded and can definitely be found in the video section of the group. So I'm going to leave this out to cool down, and I'm going to clean my area and bring you back to talk a little bit about transfers and show you a gang sheet I created just to show you the cost per impression. All right. So Mike actually used them to make custom socks, used the hat press to make custom socks. Brian shared an idea here for the hat press we're talking about now for a flag patch on the sleeve. That is great. And also for shirt neck labels. So we see that a fair amount on tagless labels, which is great. No socks required to do that. No shoes or socks required. And Bruce asked, can you dye sublimate the mask? Certainly, they're 100% polyester, so they are sublimatable. Of course, white is going to show your logo the best, but you can also sublimate with black ink on the gray if you're just looking for a effect or a pattern to it. And I think I covered some of the questions around fit, so I feel like we're good there for now. All right, cool. So let me share my screen one more time. Again, we have these heat press options and packages for the hat presses that you see here over on Transfer Express and also on stalls.com. I want to show you just a sample Spirit Sale site. So something that we're doing through Spirit Sale is on these masks, we have all of the images that, if they're not already, will very soon be under the marketing download section on our stalls.com website when you're logged in. So you can kind of take those images, and I just wanted to show you how you may build it into a Spirit Sale store. So whether you want to do, 3 packs and 12 packs and break them down for your customers, or kind of outline, some of the benefits of the mask, and then also be able to, show and market branded face masks. You guys can steal all these photos from our Facebook group where we've shared them, use them on your own websites, use them to promote however you see fit. But I think the main thing is being able to promote. And again, here's the photo of my daughter wearing the mask that shows you how the adult version can adjust to a youth with a very small modification in the back of the mask. Prior to that modification, it did not fit her. And as far as ordering and designing for logos, which is our main business, even more so than masks, here's what I like to show. So this is the benefit of stretch litho mat. I'll show this first in case this is your first time watching. You guys see this part. Sorry for those of you that have seen this 100 times. You can fit unlimited colors all on one sheet, small logos and large logos, whatever logos you want. They don't have to be related at all. This is not something you can buy and print yourself. Like for a printer cutter, we are screen printing this and digitally printing it and making it for you through a process that we've developed over the course of several years with a lot of investment into the process, because we believe it is the future of transfers. And one reason why is this image that you're seeing here. So originally I put this with a lot of this, remember everyone deployed this red design with the American flag, and I could fit at 1 by 2 inches, I could fit 130 of those on this gang sheet based on the size. So keep that in mind for a second, 130 of those. Now, cool thing is you don't need to order 130 of one logo times 5 sheets. You can group different customer logos. So let's say you only needed 300 for this particular order. Then you could easily put 60 logos per sheet, right, for the red design. Then you could group that with, maybe you sold, let's see, 4 times 5, 20 for St. Compton Catholic Church. You could group those logos on the same sheet, multiples of 5, because you're going to buy 5 sheets. Maybe this Compton Technologies is going to a business, a small business, and you've only sold 10 masks. So you can put those 2 logos on there. But the point is you can group these logos knowing you're going to order 5 sheets or 10 sheets, depending on how many you start to sell through. But I'd say start with 5 and keep it simple. Even at 5 sheets, if you fill this up with different jobs, different logos, you're looking at a total order size of $115. You're going to add $12 in shipping because that's our flat rate. So you're going to have $127 sunk into your logos for your face masks, and group all your orders and run them once a week and order all your transfers to make sure you can get the lowest price. So if you take that $127 and we say, maybe I can't get 130 logos on a sheet, but let's just say I can get 100 logos on a sheet times 5 sheets. That's 500 logos that you get for your price of $127, which equals 25 cents per logo. You can do way better than that if you just go up to 10 sheets because you have enough jobs. So your volume will dictate your cost per impression. If you're running really high volume because you're a big promotional products distributor, I mean, we've seen mask orders in the 100,000 pieces. We've seen 2,500 piece orders. So don't be limited as far as the demand for these. These are bigger than just 6 shirts at a time. It's a question of, can you find the clients? Can you connect the most cost-effective decoration with the mask to make sure it's still affordable for them and they can get their brand on a mask and get it out as a promo product to fundraise for a cause or to their people. So there is a ton of masks being brought in right now and broken down into smaller quantities for you all and shipped back out. And so lastly, the economy mask can be printed on. They are a 50-50 blend. So that question has come up. You can use stretch litho mat on those masks as well with the same gang sheet. You can print both styles of masks from the same product, or you can customize it with vinyl, do whatever you want, but they can certainly be printed. And Maria, no, one design does not have to carry all 5 sheets. As you can see, we've grouped 3 designs just on this sheet. And on this gang sheet that I held up a little bit earlier, there's probably, 12 different designs. So we don't care. You're going to pay the same price per sheet, regardless of how many logos up. So we're looking at stretch litho mat through the lens of small logos today and face masks, but take this concept and say you can fit 12 of them for left chest logos for your normal business, or for hat prints, or better yet, for a spirit sale website that's going to sell a bag, a polo, a hat, a quarter zip, etc. That one logo, if it's sized correctly, can go across 5 or 6 products. So that's really the way to be able to do things intelligently to make sure you are maximizing your screen printed transfer and really the profit that you can make in your business. So I'm going to keep preaching about stretch litho mat and digital screen printed transfers and what you can do with it, because I think it really is a key to a very profitable, lean business when you come out of it. Small footprint, can do a lot of items with just transfers and a heat press. Let's see if I miss showing you guys anything else today. The stretch litho mat price sheet, I thought I'd bring it up because I know you can find this on the website, but I'll just pull it up. Hard to believe that 5 sheets, I know you get intimidated by $23 a sheet, but think about what the total cost is and what the cost is per logo. That's the one we just went over. That's only going to cost $0.25 per logo if you can get the volume. As you can see, if you're doing full front designs, start to get up into these 20 sheets of 2 full front t-shirts, 2 different designs. It's only going to cost you $4.25 a print for unlimited colors. You can download all this from transferexpress.com. That concludes our presentation today, except I need to peel this ElastiPrints transfer. So that was pressed on the cat press. Peel it, and you can see your finished result. So that's the ElastiPrints product, just another screen printed transfer type. And I'm going to take a look at some last questions before we log out for the day. All right. What is the guidance of a left chest measurement on stretch litho mat? So that depends on your logo size, but usually for left chest placement, I like to use 4x4 as a bounding box. And so if it's a horizontal logo, you may be looking at 2x3.5, 2x4. If it's a circle or a square, somewhere in the 3x3 to 4x4 range. But I would definitely look at how much you can fit up. And so what I mean by that is, let's just take a peek back real quick. I'm going to let me open a new design real quick. So up in the top right-hand corner of Easy View, you're going to switch to full color, and then you're going to have the stretch litho mat automatically populate, and that gives you your 11.5 by 18-inch sheet size. And then I'll just drop a piece of clip art onto here. Let's just say this is my left chest logo. Right now, that's sitting at 3.3 by 3.8. I'm probably going to size it down, because then as I start to make copies, I can come up intelligently with whatever will fit across the sheet. So I would probably take, I'm going to grab my phone real quick. Let's take 11.5. Let's make sure there is about 1/4 inch to cut things apart. So I'm going to subtract maybe 0.75 inches. I'll be looking at 10.75 inches as far as the height of this sheet. And let's say, what does it take to divide 3 logos? So 3.58. So I'd say max of 3.58. Then I would run the same math across the other side of the sheet. And let's just say 18 inches divided by 3.58 equals 5 across. So probably going to end up being 4 by the time you got a slice in between. So not bad. 3 by 4, so you should be able to fit 12 left chest logos at the 3 by 5 by 3.5 image dimensions. If you do want to order a sample of stretch litho, we do have it available. Just go to the Transfer Express website and go under, I think there's 2 ways to get there. I'll take you through the product way. Go to heat transfers, full color transfers. We're going to share a link to. Go to the stretch litho mat products. You can read about it and learn about it. And then you'll be able to click this request a sample right here in the top, which will bring you to a free sample product page. You can make sure you select the sample you want and your information and add it to your cart. All right, I think we are pretty good. Economy masks are washable, yes. Like any t-shirt-like fabric or fleece-like fabric, when it's washed, it has the ability to shrink, especially on 50-50 rather than 100% poly. The premium masks are. So just keep that in mind. You may want to recommend drying it on low heat or hang dry, but I think low heat is going to be just fine for the use that people are going to expect out of these. And yeah, if you buy 5 designs of the stretch litho, they do have to be the same graphics because we are burning a screen. We're actually screen printing and backing that that layer with the screen, so you're getting screen print ink on the shirt. Okay. Good. So hopefully you all enjoyed today's class, something a little bit different. Again, we've been sharing throughout the episode. Want to thank everybody that has helped to administer this from our side and share different links. The call to action today is really simple. Think about whether or not you should be in the face cover business right now for your business, for today, and for the long term. I'm going to recommend that you strongly consider it because I think nearly all industries and groups and teams are going to be looking to procure these even beyond just from a consumer standpoint right now. So as always, we want to thank you for joining our Making It Together. We want to encourage you to fill out our survey, which we'll share a link one last time. And we will see you, Jenna will see you tomorrow, and I will see you again Thursday. Thanks so much for watching.